Let's get into this match, Pureshield. I hope you're ready for some epic action. We do have ReBoot Gaming represented by the color blue down bottom versus yellow buff up top is color red. Follow me on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Some of the more creative names I've seen. Definitely these two have been performing exceptionally well. In fact, I gotta hand it to all of yellow buff. Really surprised us, man. This is the first tournament they showed up for, and they've really, they've made things happen. And I'm happy to see that. It's always awesome to see new teams. And of course, taking a look up top here at our reigning champions, we are going to see them invade the top jungle here at the Tri-Bush a little bit. Probably going to be trading a red buff steal here. Possibly ReBoot may go for golems or rays. That would not surprise me. What do you think's going on here?
I think this is going to be one of those situations where people think people are just going to steal each other's buffs. Depends on, the difference will be, will someone leave the small wraith for a little bit of, I guess, denial of the buff, or will someone just clear it for the advantage on timers and maybe a little bit of a later forced engagement at enemy red. It looks like though both teams are pretty much just going to go very standard, exploring the area. No one's going to, except for the two wards that are kind of ditched there. No one's really going to go for any more exploratory action. So it looks like it's going to be a very clean and very fast steal on each other.
Very standard. A little bit early on the Titan's Wrath there from Batuti, no doubt, because he wants that cooldown up for when he takes the raids. One of our first times seeing Batuti play Nautilus, at least in my perspective.
The tournament, actually.
Yeah, he doesn't play Nautilus now. Is he going to leave one or two of these small rays? Looks like he wants to take all of them. No, he's going to take all three. There he goes. Yeah. Not going with his trademark CJ strategy there. What's the matter?
You want to see something really cool?
Huh.
Uranium actually basically fainted leash on blue. So a lot of times pro players like to keep their eyes on the two corners, the pathway leading to blue and red. And basically, both of these players actually fainted their directions right there. So neither of them really know. Everyone thought that the other person started blue, but in reality, everyone stole each other's red and wraiths. So that's a little bit of a mind game right there, if you guys know what I mean.
Absolutely. I didn't even pick up on that one. Nice call there, Pureshield. I do, like I said in the draft, want to keep a very close eye on this mid lane, as I do feel this is a bit of a toss-up. Ryze and Morgana, two of the most traditional AP carries in the mid lane. I have to give the advantage to Morgana simply because of that black shield, but it could really go either way. It's going to come down to player skill. Uranium and Alex Pie, who I call Apple Pie, both very evenly matched players in my opinion, as Alex has proven to prove us wrong time and time again. He's so strong. We've seen him do a lot of carries so far in our tournament, but certainly his opponent, one of the best that we've seen as well. So we are going to see a leash there, a very late leash from Ryze. He's going to miss out on a little bit of EXP for not. Not really sure. Maybe it's because Nautilus was low on mana. Why do you think that he did that just now? Ryze pulling back for a leash there.
I'm not exactly sure why that was done right there. Still though, some of these players basically think a different caliber than us, essentially. I mean, they'll do things that are mathematically possible, and then they'll do some things that are really for the psychological.
Oh, we might see Yorick get picked off by a Dredgeline here. A very early gank from Nautilus at level 3. Could have got in a very nasty spot there for Yorick, but perhaps luck on his side. He is going to be placing a ward here at the river bush, or perhaps not. What is he doing? Trying to shroud something, some early harass on camera. Trying to deny some farm there. Nothing too serious going on. ReBoot, rather, taking a step back and revising his path. Kind of wasting some time there, a little bit behind on his clear. Spending perhaps too much time trying to gank the top lane, but he is Tarzan. He's master of the jungle. I'm not going to pretend to know more than him, but he may be going for a gank here on Morgana, perhaps landing a dredge. Will she have the reflexes for the black shield? Here he comes. Oh, the rune prison combined with the Nautilus passive, gonna be able to deal critical damage. And the dive from Batuti at the mid lane. A huge play from ReBoot Gaming. Unexpectedly, Batuti is going for that dive. The DOT from Titan's Wrath, overwhelming Morgana in that situation, and such a nice timed rune prison in that play, man. Huge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, also the first blood was given to Ryze in the end, as the last tick of that Ignite takes the Morgana's life. Regardless of spell shield or not, I believe Ignite does stretch through it. So, giving that first blood to Ryze is crucial. I mean, Ryze is one of those champions that when you get pretty much to the late game, he's pretty much unstoppable. There was one point in League of Legends history where Ryze, get this, at level 17 can actually solo Baron by himself, just a caster chucking a bunch of spells at Baron, and Baron's dead. That's pretty ridiculous. They kind of toned him down a bit, made a few changes to him, but he's still extremely viable, extremely powerful team fights. simply because of the nature of his ult.
Look at this. Hold on. Let me cut you off there a little bit. Red team pinging for a gank down bottom on Pneumatic. Will we see a bandage toss out of this river bush? There was no ward that spotted this. ReBoot is in the dark, but I do think they're going to be okay. Although if Pneumatic oversteps bounce just a little bit more, he could be in range for a bandage toss. Here he goes. Follow me on Twitter, going in for the kill. Doesn't appear he's going to be able to land any critical damage, but focusing down. Soraka landing that the bandage out of a flash. Unfortunate physics collision there for Dumo, taking more damage than necessary, but the sustain from Soraka gonna be able to push Mumu back, no problem. Actually, Mumu might have to go back after that exchange. He took a lot of damage there.
He'll be fine right now. He has enough potions, and he has a reroll pendant as well. He'll definitely be able to regen some of that. And looks like he is maxing Tantrum, very good, relatively standard right there. He's taking a lot less damage. That Smite on the Wolves definitely help him fill up. He's going to be fine. He's going to be going back to his clear. Both of these junglers right now, I believe, are approaching level 5. Nautilus, after this race camp, should be level 5. Or maybe just a little bit under.
Take a look at this. Camera picking up Berserker Greaves. You are the Aurelia player. Also going back for an extra pot there. Is he going for more of a damage build here? As Urgot is one of the tankier ADs.
I think what he's going for is a little. He's maxing out Hidden Style first. 1, 3, and 1 is his ability distribution right now, and I think what he's going to go for is a lot of attack speed, just to basically have that sustain while Hidden Style is procced. So, very interesting choice on the Berserker's Greaves, but that's a very cheap way. A relatively cheap way of getting 25% attack speed. Think about it. Recurve Ball is 1,000 gold, right? You get some run speed as well. You can kind of kite away, but also you get that attack speed as a bonus.
Take a look at Patootie right now. All kinds of jungle invades. Looks like he's planning a gank on Yorick. Yorick did just hit 6 recently. Will he land this dredge line? Aurelia dealing lots of damage to Yorick in this exchange. He's going to have to turn around. It does look like Yorick, oh man, he's going to suicide this one. Wants to trade on Aurelia, but flashing into the bush perfectly, spacing that one out, but the dredge line looks to be like it's going to seal the deal
he's
here.
Gonna live. He might
the DOT from Titan's Wrath. One last dredge line could finish this off. Is he going to be able to dodge it? It really comes down to Patootie's skill shot, and he lets him go.
Very nice dodge. No, he couldn't have chased it. There was a lot of health regen going around, had a lot of potions going up, and he also used the ghost that would have done some lifesteal as well.
Indeed,
have just enough mana for that as well.
Yeah.
So very well played by the Yorick player. Like us on Facebook. I'm not saying
that was
you
actually
should like TGN on Facebook, but you should also
that was
like
a huge play, man. I thought he was going to suicide on Aurelia, but he flashed and out. He lost the Nautilus by flashing to trade into that bush. It was amazing. Yeah. Can't believe he survived that play. And obviously ReBoot's one of the strongest gankers out there, as he is top-notch jungle. That really says a lot about this Yorick player. Like us on Facebook. I know it probably sounds like I'm plugging myself.
Yeah, we're not pouring ourselves out. That's their names, guys.
Yeah, these are the actual names of these players. Look at this, Amumu trying to gank here, missing the binding. Oh, and dodging the bandage toss. Uranium definitely on his tippy toes, dancing around right now, juking all kinds of skill shots. A big play, negating every single bit of that damage from the gank attempt. And that's actually going to force these junglers back. Nothing's going to happen here. Let's take a look at the AD farm, as it is a point of interest. Pneumatic went back. What did he purchase? Pneumatic picking up that Brutalizer, obviously very standard Urgot build. He does have 69 farm versus Severe's 58, so again, King of Farm proven to be 10 CS ahead of his opponent right now. Look at this harass under the tower from Morgana. Once he lands those bindings, 2.5 ticks from the Tormented Soil, lots of damage. Look at Patootie chilling out in this tri-bush, sitting on top of a ward. I'm not sure if he realizes that, but certainly because of that ward placement, he's going to be wasting a lot of time in his clear. Just because they're totally aware of his position. He could pretty much gather that. But look at this. Morgana coming down, wants to roam for a gank, but I don't think she caught sight of Nautilus. Nautilus is so in the dark, but they could pretty much guess where it is. A 4v1 situation right now. Patootie's going to have to use his dredge line to get away. Are we going to see... Oh, and a dodge from Pneumatic, forcing that curse of the sad mummy under the tower. Will Pneumatic survive this? Will we see a wish? No, Pneumatic goes down. Urgot, a double kill under the tower.
Wow.
ReBoot lost 2 players under the tower. That puts Yellow Buff pretty far ahead right now. Actually, no, Global Gold still in favor of ReBoot just due to the farm, but actually that's going to put Pneumatic significantly further behind, given that he will have this moment of free farm there. That is the Severe player, Slooshy. Kind of a depth charge put to waste there. I'm not really sure what Patootie was doing there. I don't know. Was he just afraid of a pursuit there?
I think, well, actually, I think what the call was, probably on Mumble, was that Uranium probably said, you know what, let's go in. I can take them. I have my ultimate. They're kind of out of cooldowns right now. I can melt them, no problem right now. And Patootie was like, okay, I'm going to go in. But he got caught in a binding. and when he used his, what you like to say, hydro pump.
Whoa, look at this. Tower dive on Morgana. Down goes the Black Shield already. Ignite early. Flash from Rise.
Oh,
he might secure this kill. There it goes.
Oh, wow, he got it.
Diving to almost 2 towers right there. Louis survived this pursuit from Amumu. It looks like Soraka and Aurelia closing in for the reinforcement. That was a huge play from Iranium. So ballsy right there. Paid off in his favor. That's going to put the ReBoot ahead now in team kills. They are slightly, actually about 2,500 gold ahead globally.
One and a half thousand.
Oh, my mistake. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My math skill is a little bit lacking here. But yeah, it looks like the bot lane from Yellow Buff had to go back there. What did Severe pick up? She got a Vamp Scepter, double Dorns, a considerable amount of lifesteal at this point, but she is significantly further behind on farm, no doubt due to the Infuse Harass combo here on Urgot. This is a very strong bottom lane combo, although Urgot, if he builds conventionally, will not be dealing nearly as much damage as, say, his Corki or his Ezreal or even his, whatever. And the Matic plays any AD, really. So I think that's the reason that Camera up top is going for more of a damage-oriented build. Looks to be picking up a Phage right there, possibly going to transition into a relatively early Triforce. But the point of interest is, of course, those Berserker Greaves, which is not all too common on a top solo player.
Well, you can consider Urgot as kind of like a high, bruiser slash AD carry slash caster, really. I mean, his abilities do a lot of damage. That's what makes him kind of interesting. I mean, he can kind of hit the backline as well, while he's kind of hanging out in his own backline. But that's the reason I think, displacement comp A. You need your Urgot. Generally, displacement comps are
so
around.
We're gonna try to. What is he doing here? I'm not really sure.
He's just exploring, maybe. Yes. Doing Ezreal's job for him.
Dangerous job, dangerous positioning right there. I did see a red ping go down for Yellow Buff. They are going to try this dragon attempt. This is going to be contested from the looks of things. But Tootie has knowledge of this, but no, too much damage goes down. ReBoot,
there's no way they can deny this right now.
ReBoot looks like they're going to give up a dragon. He's contemplating a Baron Steel, but not going to go for it there. That's actually going to close the gap pretty closely here between these two teams. Obviously, ReBoot is significantly further ahead on last hits, but that dragon kill is a big deal at this point in the match. It's very close so far. But as we were talking about before we got into the match, ReBoot really tends to excel in a few minutes from now. Around the 15-minute mark, they start going for those coordinated tower dives and picking up lots of team kills, lots of assists, and that's where they really pull ahead. On that note, look at this swap. Oh my goodness, the size of that. What the heck? That Curse of the Sad Mummy was gargantuan.
Wow.
Looks like the Matic is going to get picked off there. Another loss there for ReBoot in the bottom lane. This is so uncharacteristic. Did you see the size of that Curse?
That was, well, I mean, actually, that was very standard. It was just maybe a little bit of camera work right there, but
it was giant. I don't know what I don't know if the audience saw that. That was enormous. I'm not sure if that was a bug or what, but either way.
Oh, maybe it's because I think it was because he got knocked upwards, and then it was just kind of like simultaneous, and maybe the graphic was a little bit of graphics was. Well, the range was perfectly fine. But still though, that was very good timing. I mean, both junglers wanted to gank right at 13 minutes. They're like, oh, let's gank bot right now. I'm gonna bush I'm gonna fog mine near my tower, and they kind of met each other in the middle.
Yeah, top lane's fighting over the yellow buff red right now. We're going to see reinforcement from both mids. Oh no! We might see ReBoot give up another kill up here. Iranium grabs the kill on Yorick. Now it does appear that they're going to be fine, as Curse of the Sad Mummy is on cooldown after that last fight. But I do really want to point out that Pneumatic has given up 2 kills right now. That's actually putting him a lot further behind on form than he's used to, especially given that they've gone with a more harass-oriented comp down bot. So definitely switching up the roles a little bit here. We might see Aurelia dealing the majority of the damage for ReBoot momentarily, which is, I mean, you watch ReBoot just as much, if not more, than I do. That's kind of a switch in the roles there. Am I right? Right
now, the team, the member of the team that's basically carrying a lot more will be Rise. Actually, I mean, he's got 3 kills, the same farm as Aurelia and Urgot. I mean, look at this, 113 and zap for 3 players. How many times have you seen that actually happen right there? Such a precise tie on farm, but no, Urgot's basically closing on that gap a little bit more. But if you look at him right now, he's roaming, he's making plays happen, he's catching people in the jungle, and he's also maintaining farm. This farm right now, relatively standard, but Yorick completely getting dominated in bot. Part of winning lane is also denying your opponent what they need, the nourishment they need. We do have Nautilus approaching down bottom right now, though.
Coordinating with that swap from Urgot. Are we going to see a dredge line on Severe? There's a stun from Taric. Does look like Severe is going to get manhandled. A very excessive depth charge. Just a second time Patootie has kind of wasted his ultimate. Didn't even deal any damage right there.
They're going to go for a 4-man
just
dive.
a little bit of a kill secured. Right, yes, this is the prime time, the 15-minute mark when ReBoot loves to do this. Going to go for another 4-man dive. Pretty much Rise could solo this guy, this Taric player. It does appear that he's going to chase him under this tower. Pretty safe to do so, but maybe it'd be wise for him to pull back. No, he goes for it. Look at this play. Wow.
That's amazing.
Such a brave play there from Uranium. Diving 2 towers for that tower kill. Morgana wanted to reinforce, but just not fast enough. 4 players from ReBoot Gaming now bottom lane. They're going to push this tower to free up some roam time. But Tootie's looking to do some CJs, man. Perhaps his jungle not, I mean, I hate to say it, but certainly not up to snuff with some of his other jungles. What'd you say?
I think this was just a little bit of a rough start for him, but he's making plays right now. We were used to seeing him dominate with Nocturne for the earlier part of this tournament, and we used to see him playing Shyvana and just absolutely carry his team. But the problem with Nautilus is a very team-dependent game. You play Nautilus before, and oh wow, he tower dives.
I think Amumu is gonna be able to land a curse if she's in tower range. Got to be super careful, camera. Where's that curse? Does he have it off cooldown? He did. He didn't use it. Perhaps not confident in Morgana's damage output to use it, but that was a prime time for them. They were between 2 towers. Perhaps dropping the ball a little bit there from following me on Twitter. Or maybe he has something else in mind for his ultimate, although I can't really imagine a better situation. What do you think, man? He should have used it back there, right?
I think he should. I don't know. I think they want to save it for a more opportune time. You want to use your curse on at least 2 players. You don't want to just use that one and just get that pick me up. That's not exactly, advantageous. There is a 2 tower advantage right now for ReBoot Gaming as well. That's one of the reasons why the gold disparity is so high. We're going to see some team fights going down very soon. I mean, it's 16 minutes, not necessarily Baron
looks like
time
they're
yet.
Timing a dragon right here. Yellow buff did grab the last one. Will they be able to secure another? Patooty's closing it fast down bottom. Looks like they want to turn this fight around. A depth charge would be prime right now. Does he have it? No, it's still on cooldown. There's a swap from Urgot. And Patooty's going to take these other 2 players out of the equation. Down goes Severe. Taric will follow suit. And they're going to have to cover their losses right there. They don't have a tower down here.
So much better play by ReBoot Gaming right there. Look at what happens right there. Camera's free to roam right now because Yorick was so behind. And he just came down there and basically reinforced his team. Made that a 5v3 situation.
They're trying to chase this Morgana kill as well before picking up the next dragon. She's going to have to be forced to pull back right there. ReBoot roaming in groups right now, groups of 5 in fact, as I do love to do those coordinated 5-man or 4-man tower dives, which pretty much wins them the game every time. Maybe I'm off pace here with my dragon prediction, but I feel like they should probably group up. That'll be the next team fight, no doubt.
That would be. Yep.
I'm taking a look at
York participating in a single team fight yet. I'm really wondering if he's going to go down there for that dragon fight very soon. It's going to be coming up in about 30 seconds or 40 seconds, I believe, from what my timer says.
Yeah. Other than that, though, it does appear that Yellow Buff just hasn't been able to pace with ReBoot on the global gold generation. I mean, they did pick up that first dragon kill, but their overall last hitting is just not on par with ReBoot. As we predicted, they really needed to shut down ReBoot early, and I feel at this point, not only does ReBoot have the team comp advantage, but they're also just kind of in an unstoppable spot right now, in total control of this map, and it's going to take a lot for Yellow Buff to come back from this match. It is going to kind of be a slow pushing match from here on out, unless ReBoot kind of throws a team fight here, and Yellow Buff is able to capitalize on that properly. Nice timing on this dragon spawn here, a 5-man kill on this one, not going to be contested in the least. And now it's just up to Yellow Buff to play some defense here, try to get lucky, and win a team fight. What do you think, man? You pulling for him?
I think I'm pulling for him a little bit. Here comes a little bit of tower dive from camera, though. Is he going to be pursuing all the way? He's going all the way. Amumu comes in here just in time. Interception. They're not going to be pursuing that anymore.
Yellow Buff cannot fight this. I understand that Yorick needs to catch up on farm, but at this point, he needs to start participating in these team fights. Absolutely. They need him for some damage. And they can't compete with the damage output. Taking a look at Aurelia here, she did pick up a GP5 pretty late in the match, but still going to be sticking with that Triforce build. Let's take a look at Urgot. Now, got that Glacial Shroud. Yeah, he's going for more of a tanky build. No doubt going to transition into a Frozen Heart. Looks like we're going to see
standard build for Urgot right there.
Yep.
Definitely not getting not ahead as he would like to be, but he's pretty much ahead of.
Oh boy, here we go, 4v5 right now. ReBoot in total control. There's the Morgana and the curse, but just not enough damage to compete. Look at this cleave. ReBoot is actually going to lose 2 players from the looks of things. No, 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 they turned that around so nicely. Patootie lost his life, but he was taking the brunt of that damage. I feel like Yellow Buff just didn't have the focus fire necessary and just allowed Rise and Aurelia to deal too much damage back there.
At this
oh boy,
point, the
here we go
only
again.
thing that can... Oh, man. Puberty again? But at this point, the only way that Yellow Buff can turn this around, and you know, they still have a tiny bit of a shot. They're really ahead right now. They need to pick the right fights and get a pick or some sort. But the only pick I can see possibly happening will be at Baron. If you look at Vision right now, Yellow Buff has pretty much no vision on the map right now. Tyrant is going on a warding spree. He has one ward on his body right now, and he doesn't have the gold for another ward right now, unfortunately. But they really need to get some vision on the map, get a pick going, and possibly catch. I think the only one they can catch off guard right now is Aurelia. Aurelia's really playing very, excuse my language, very ballsy right now, and he might actually be the easiest one to get caught because of overconfidence. Although it is very difficult to kill his Aurelia right now.
Oh man, severe spell shielding some of that damage from Rise. Got to be careful that nobody gets picked off here. Can so easily be destroyed by a rune prison.
Afford that at all right now. Wait, one pick for them, one pick for Yellow Buff, the red team right now. It's pretty much GG for them. They need to wait for that Baron fight, somehow steal Baron of some sort. Speaking of Baron fight, that might be coming very soon. They're clearing some wards. Maybe gonna go for it very soon.
Yeah, that would not be unwise on the part of ReBoot. Perhaps gonna wait in this bush. But getting the vision control here from Doomwheel, roaming around with that Oracle is doing a very fine job, picking off wards and also placing down fresh ones. They just want to secure the vision of the river before they go for that Baron attempt, but they might get a pick here on Amumu. He's too tanky for this pursuit, although Aurelia is very damage heavy. She now has that Triforce completed, and she's super fast, able to do that sort of harass without much punishment. It does look like ReBoot wants to push mid lane here, probably going to grab up this tower and pull back. Although they could probably win this teamfight under the tower as Amumu and Severe are too far back in the well, but no. Going to leave that tower standing for now. Possibly going to count their losses and just go for a Baron attempt right now. What do you think? Is it time? It'll be pretty early.
It's actually not too early, believe it or not. But it's going to be a little bit easier with a different AD carry, I think. They're going to take this down very easily, no problem. Urgot's a little bit tankier. There's no eye edge on him or any sort, right? He has a glacial shroud right now. So for team fights, definitely Urgot's gonna be great. For Baron, maybe not so much. Maybe they won't burst it instantly. Then again, though, it's really super fed. Look at the Triforce boots and a GP5 right now, right? And with gold to spare. Look at that gold to spare right now. She has 700 gold as well. So this Aurelia is gonna be hyper carrying this team. Here's another pick on Amumu though.
Yeah, there goes the depth charge on Amumu. Why focus Amumu? Not really sure what's going on, but it doesn't really matter. ReBoot has so much more damage. There's the curse from Amumu. All this cleave going down. They can't stop Urgot or Rise. Too much damage goes down. ReBoot is gonna handily win this team fight. Oh, disgusting.
That might be the game right there, and we're gonna have to go into the second game.
Morgana was shredded before the stun from her ultimate. That Soul Shackle went off.
Only a push for inhib, no
it was
problem.
Way overwhelming damage from ReBoot. They cannot fight straight up like that. They had to have waited for a counterattack at Baron, and they just didn't have the patience for it. Really, ReBoot was going to force a fight in time. That was really the only chance to come back from this, but at this point, that pretty much seals the deal here for Yellow Buff in the first game of our round of 3, although they might drag this on a little bit, try to split push some lanes. This is the finals, and neither team really wants to game throw at all, as there is some nice prizes here on the line, but pretty much ReBoot. I've never seen them make a mistake at this point, or a game-losing mistake at this point in a match before. And it does appear that even despite giving up a fair amount of kills down bottom, that they are pretty much on top of their game right now. Maybe Patootie just had to shake some of that rust off of his Nautilus, as he did perform extremely well in that last team fight. I mean, just having Nautilus there at the front line, a lot of people underestimate how much cleave he does when that Titan's Wrath is active. He hits everybody, and it puts a dot on everybody too. Or I think it does. Let's see. Let me double check here. Yeah, all units that are affected by the cleave receive that DOT that scales with his health. So I mean, Nautilus is so powerful in the front line in a teamfight situation like that.
Oh yeah.
Really, I mean, I hate to single anybody out, but if I had to say, that was pretty dominant play there from Patootie. I mean, also focusing down to Morgana before the Soul Shackle, but it wouldn't really matter even if that stun went off. It just Yellow Buff doesn't have enough damage at this point in the match, and really, like I said, it's gonna have to come down to a counterattack. Will they pull it together? Possibly try to go for a Baron steal. I'd honestly just like to see them try to wipe at the Baron attempt, but they slowly are losing their sight of the river right now as we're taking a look at the vision of yellow buff.
Is caught bot.
Obviously, they do know about this. Severe is way down south, totally out of position to help. This is going to be a 4v5.
This might be the GG moment right there. Severe is not going to be able to
What is Severe doing down there? Focusing this tower down, trying to trade a tower for Baron. I just don't know about this strategy, as all this damage from ReBoot is going to overwhelm the Baron in just moments right now. We have to see some form of response from yellow buff, unless they're ready to just throw in the towel.
No, they're throwing the towel, I think, right now.
Not acceptable.
They should have attempted this. No, that was a really bad choice. I think that maybe they're going to try to trade 2 towers for this. Severe, I mean, maybe they're going for a backdoor strategy because they realize maybe they won't be able to win their team fight. But at this point, this is GG already. This is pretty much game over. I mean, if yellow buff is going to be giving away Barons like that after losing team fight, I mean, this was pretty close in the beginning. They're not going to be able to make up this fight. They're going to go give them this inhibitor and possibly 2 Nexus turrets, and this game is going to be over. They're going to have to go in the second game. I mean, their only chance right there was to steal that Baron, and they weren't there at all. I mean, Severe was down bottom.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that split push. Obviously, trading a tower for Baron is not acceptable, especially at this point in the match. Really, I don't see what's stopping ReBoot from just base diving yellow buff right now. That may just happen. There's a Stratics. Yep. Here comes Nautilus looking to open really strong with a depth charge. There it goes. There's the anchor toss, the dredge line, cleaving up with that Titan's Wrath again. There's actually focusing down Nautilus of all players. Look at this, Morgana ultimate does go off. A little late on the Zonias, or perhaps she used it earlier. Didn't catch that. So much action going down. But look, Pneumatic's going to be able to turn this one around just based on how tanky he is. He can kite people with that Frozen Heart so well, and they're not able to focus down the right targets. Yellow buff focuses down Nautilus first. I don't know, Pureshield. What was the reasoning behind that?
I think that right now we'll have a Severe dead, and now we're going to explain the reason behind that. I think it was just a matter of front line, forcing that front line right there. We're going to have a Mumu die right here most likely, because Urgot is just, look at this pressure from Urgot. Pneumatic playing so well right now.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a dead Mumu. That's going to be an open and hip, and pretty much a push to the end. I don't think there's any way for Yellow Buff to come back to this. That was a pretty good team fight low from Yellow Buff. That actually surprised me. I was thinking they were going to get instantly melted, but they actually managed to pick up most of the people. The only problem is Severe's not fed enough to deal with the Urgot right now.
Damage comp from Yellow Buff is definitely dependent on the Curse, followed up by the Soul Shackle, the Amumu initiate actually. But I didn't see what happened with Morgana Zonias right there. I don't think she used it in time. But regardless, the stun did go off. That's pretty much what secured those kills for Yellow Buff. But overall, after those ultimates were spent, they don't have damage. Severe is not cutting it right now, and Urgot was just free to spam away, man. He was at full HP at the end of that team fight, and it's really like it's picking the lesser of 2 poisons right now. One of which would have obviously been Rise, but instead Yellow Buff chose to focus Nautilus. I understand Nautilus does a lot of damage, but man, he was front line there with his tanky build, and he still died first. I just don't know what happened with that one. Maybe they just choked a little bit, hesitated.
That was definitely hesitation. Now, this is going to be probably the last push, and we're going to move on to the game 2 of our finals, though. I mean, what was the turning point for you in this game? I mean, I'm talking like the game is pretty much over, but I think that this game is pretty much over unless there's just a miracle for team fight. I don't see Yellow Buff coming back from this. I mean, they really lost an opportunity with that Baron. That Baron totally threw them off their game and just caused wipe after wipe. You know, that was basically it. I mean, early game 1, they actually had a good chance early game, and at one point maybe even an advantage of some sort, but they totally lost it. They lost it all after that Baron.
I mean, to answer your question, there was a 4-man dive down bottom when they took down that tower at about the 15-minute mark. Really, that seems to be the staple in ReBoot strategies. About that 15-minute mark, they start going for those coordinated tower dives, and that's really when they turn around a match every time. So Yellow Buff obviously needs to be aware of that. Well, we see a dredge line here on Yorick. Down goes the Riptide. Look at this wasted curse right now. Yeah, they're going to get focused down really hard here. Morgana doesn't choose to initiate right there. Really, she didn't. I don't see why not. That was really her last opportunity. But again, just way too much damage. GG is called a 5-0 surrender. Well played by ReBoot Gaming. And of course, way to put up a fight there for Yellow Buff, going up against pretty insane odds. Gotta love that match. We're going to get into game 2 between these guys. A best of 3, of course.